Welcome to another episode of Simple Thoughts. Today is another request by Kenneth David Burt, and if you would like to make a request, you can go to the link in the description or at the end of this video and just pledge $2 and you can request me to talk about anything you want in my Simple Thoughts video. There are rules though, of course, so just follow the links and just go there and pledge today. And today's request is mainly my thoughts about Dan Versus and what I think about that show. Now the thing about it is, I like that show. It was on the Hub network when that was a thing before they changed it back to the Discovery family. I don't get it. It's like, okay, first you're the Discovery Channel, well, Discovery Kids Channel, then you're like, here's the Hub, and now you're Discovery Family. I'm like, whatever. But it was mainly a show when Discovery was just deciding, hey, let's make good kids cartoons. And here we go. We got stuff like My Little Pony, Dan Versus, and stuff like that. And like, but I think about it, I like that show. That was like one of my favorite shows coming out of the Hub. It was good. Like, I liked its I kind of like how its humor. It was more of the character Dan is a jerk. But he's a jerk you easily identify with because it's like, oh my god, you're saying all the things I would say if I was in this type of bullshit situation. The main premise of the show was that this guy named Dan would get into these bad situations because some sort of inconvenience happens to him. It's just this small thing that happens to him that just pisses him off, and he just thinks it's some type of conspiracy out to get him. And he decides, I'm gonna get revenge on you. And so he goes out of his way to get revenge, but he later discovers there's actually is some type of conspiracy out for him. And he ends up roping his friend Chris and his wife Elise into usually his harebrained schemes. It's just funny because it's like, you would think he'd be in the wrong. You would think Dan is in the wrong for wanting to get revenge for such a minute problem. But it comes to find out, it's like, no, this is a real conspiracy. This is a real issue. It was always funny how they went about it, because it's like, wow, he was right the whole damn time. Like when he decided to go against Canada. Like that episode when he just decided, I'm gonna be against Canada. I forgot exactly what went wrong. Like it was something, I think it was with maple syrup, but I'm not entirely 100% sure. It's been a while since I last saw Dan Versus, because it ended like back in 2013, and I haven't seen like any reruns because they just don't show any. They don't show any reruns. But it was such a good show. But it was still funny because like he just vowed revenge on Canada, and they kept showing, and he went to Canada to get his vengeance, and they kept showing, yeah, Canada's kind of shitty. Like it's just kind of a shitty place. It's like, wow, it's kind of funny. It's like, okay, there was merit to his craziness, and I kind of like that. I like that idea that he's a jerk, but he's a jerk with a good reason. Like, you easily identify with his problems, with everything going on with him. And I just like how they went about it. The humor was more like, it wasn't down to earth, definitely. It would be out there with some of the stuff they would do, but it would be one of those, how would I react if I was in that type of situation? And the way Dan reacts to these situations is like, I probably wouldn't act like that, but I can see why he would. Like, even if it's like, I wouldn't personally do it, but he's justified in the way he does it. Like, that was just something great about Dan. And then there's his friends, Chris and Elise. Like, Chris was basically that everyman. He's the guy who tries to talk Dan out of doing all these stupid harebrained schemes. And it's just like, dude, you're trying to talk him out of this, but he's dead set on this. And he's ultimately right. Like, that was the funny thing, is like, he's fucking right. Like, he shouldn't be. Like, this should be such a small issue that he should just wave off as nothing. But he's just like, no, I'm doubling down on this shit, and I'm getting my fucking revenge. I was like, wow, just fucking wow. It was just funny. But with Chris, his thing is like, I'm trying to talk you out of this crazy shit before you get yourself killed or something. It's just like, dude, you're just gonna have to go with him on this. You're just gonna have to you gotta go with him on this stuff, man. Like, that's just kind of the funny thing about it. And Chris is just someone who constantly gets like the short end of the stick. Like I remember this one like high school reunion episode because Dan and Chris, they went to like the same high school, and the thing is, like, Dan wanted vengeance on the school because like his schoolmates were like terrible to him, if I'm right. And then and Chris, he remembers school being this great place. It was fun for him, like, when he was attending back in high school. But when they go to the reunion, it's pretty much kind of flipped. Like, the people, when it comes to Dan, they're not jerks. They're actually pretty happy. They're like, oh, that Dan getting into such crazy hijinks, and Dan's having a good time at the fucking reunion. But Chris, on the other hand, he's excited for it. He's the one who really wanted to go to the reunion, and he wants to have fun and all that, and remember all the nostalgia and everything. And he remembers being like sort of the popular guy back then. The funny thing is, nobody fucking remembered him. I was like, damn! Like, he remembers it being such a great time. He was popular, people liked him, and everything. And they're just like, I don't know who you are. I was like, it was just so funny because it's like he built it up like it's gonna be this great day. Go back through all these memories and everything, but it's like, no, it's completely. They don't even remember who you are. I'm like, damn. And the fucking irony of it was he brought his wife, and the thing is, his wife was more remembered, even though she never attended the school. I was like, wow, how is it that you're not remembered even though you attended the school, and your wife is remembered even though she never went to the school? She even got a trophy for being the like most memorable face. I'm like, dog, that's gotta suck. Like, that's gotta completely suck. And like by the end of the episode, everyone's, Dan and Elise had a great time, but Chris is the only one who completely had a shitty time. I was just dying, dog. I'm like, man, I would hate everybody if that type of shit happened to me at like my high school reunion where like I was the popular kid in high school. I wasn't, but if I was the popular kid in high school, they come to the high school reunion and everyone just completely forgets I even exist. And I'm like, wow, you disgusting motherfuckers. But yeah, and I also liked his wife Elise. She was pretty cool because the way she worked was she was kind of leading a double life. Like at one point she's like she seems like this basic wife character, but the big twist is that she's actually a super spy and she's like super good at her job. I was like, wow. Like, she would whoop ass, she would know ninja techniques. It was just funny. And she was just as well pretty down to earth with Dan as well. Or not with Dan as well. She was down to earth with Chris as well. Her day's like, dude, we really gotta stop hanging out with Dan. He's just getting us into a lot of stupid shit. And that was just kind of the funny thing about it. Or about her. Like, she was just all about it. She was a spy, and she was total badass. But Chris was just like this basic dude. Like, they made it seem like Elise really didn't have much going on, but it's like, no, she's the most interesting out of all of these people. Because she's the fucking spy. Like, and it was funny because, like, at the very end, like, at the final episode, there was like this cruise they went on with like their family. Like with Elise's family, like her mom and dad, and they had this funny reveal where it's like her mom is also a spy, and the thing is they're like on different teams. Like her mom's a spy of one organization that fights against Elise's organization. It's like, wow, what the fuck were the odds? And then they congratulate each other. It's like, wow, I'm so proud of you. I'm like, but you guys are technically mortal enemies. Like, what the fuck? god, like that just had me. And it kind of blew me the way that episode ended, because it was the finale basically, and the way it ends is it just all kind of. I can't give you the specifics. I don't remember that all too well. I remember it was just some shit went wrong, and then eventually they traveled to like the Bermuda Triangle, and some shit with time happens, so it makes it so the trip sort of doesn't happen, or it doesn't happen in a certain way. If I'm right, I'm not all too familiar, but it was a good episode. It's just it blew me that was the final episode. I'm like, why? This was like really good, and it was a good offset, honestly, because like during the hub they had My Little Pony, and Dan Versus was supposed to be the bit more for the older audience. It's ironic because a lot of the older audience went to My Little Pony. It's like, wow. But either way, Dan Versus was still great. Like that was one of their definite top shows. But they just canceled it, I guess, because ratings just weren't doing that well. And it sucks, because it was really good. It was really funny and enjoyable. Like I said, with Dan, he was such a jerk, but he was a likable jerk. And hell, they even had him at despicable moments. Like there was this one episode I remember where he had this crush on this burger joint lady. She this cashier lady at a burger joint, and it was sort of a side plot around this conspiracy that the burger joint was screwing up his order on purpose. Come to find out they were. It was just kind of funny because the thing is, he really wanted to be with this cashier girl, and the funny result was long story short, Dan kind of ruined that joint, ruined that entire building, because he got into a fight with the manager, and somehow fire broke out, and it just had a complete wreck fest. It's like, wow, all this because of some minor inconvenience. It was something with condiments being messed up, I think. If I'm right, that's how it all started, but I don't remember all too well. But either way, but I digress. By the end of it, the cashier girl, the people on top of the big industry of the burger joint, the top executives, they were like, hey, we want to offer you a business proposition and offer you a CEO position or a promotion, pretty much, into the headquarters. And she's like, I'll take the job. But the thing is, it requires her to move. So she has to, go out to the headquarters. And they have this, elongated goodbye. It's like, well, I guess we can't really be together, She was considering not taking it, but he's like, no, you take it. It'd be wrong for you to just give this up just for this little thing we have. And, that was kind of noble of him. Until you find out the headquarters was only 30 minutes away from where Dan lived. I'm like... But Dan's thing is yeah, I'll never see her again. And even Chris is like, that headquarters is only 30 minutes away. It's like, yeah, but Dan's like, yeah, really, I'm gonna miss that girl. Sucks we couldn't make it work. Bro, you can't put 30 minutes out of your day to go visit her. I was like, dog, that's such a dick thing. You got a girl who really wanted to be with him, and he's just like, I'm not gonna put in the work to try to see her. What a dick. Seriously, I'm like, what type of shit is that? You literally have a girl who's trying to be on your side. She was on his side even when the burger joint was going crazy. When the manager was being an asshole, she was on his side. She was helping him out and stuff like that. But fucking, it was so stupid. But it's dog, because you're that damn lazy, you're just giving up on love like that. You got a good girl right there. You got someone you can be with, and you're just like, nope. I'm like, what the fuck, dude? It was just so funny. And that's what blows me so much. Is that was such a good show. The episodes, I can't really think of I can't really think of any episodes that were like absolute garbage. Like most of the episodes were pretty good. Like I remember laughing my ass off at just about all of them because they were that fucking funny. So it blew me when they decided, oh, it's over. It just doesn't get renewed. I'm like, oh, why? Like, I mean, I get it. You know, they had My Little Pony. That was their big thing. But it blew me. It truly blew me that they decided we're just not going to keep this going. I'm like, it was one of your best. It went the way of fucking Pen Zero. You know, it was one of the best shows on the network, but the network didn't really like to give it the time of day. Sucks. It honestly sucks. It was highly underrated. In my eyes, that was a highly underrated show. It was funny. It was clever in how they delivered everything about it. You know, the characters were great and enjoyable, even though, like I said, you had a big ass jerk as the main character. He's relatable. You relate to his reactions to a lot of the problems he has. That was just the great thing. Is like, okay, how do you make a jerk character someone we can all relate to and cheer for in the end? And plain and simple, they do it right. Like, even with, like, say, Bender from Futurama, he's a total jerk. But we don't exactly relate to all his problems. We laugh at his misfortunes when he screws up, like when he robs people. It's like, yeah, we laugh at him getting beaten up because it's like, yeah, you were wrong there, dude. Like when he just walked away with those martinis in his head, and the guy was like, are you gonna pay for those? Like, hell no. Like, yeah, he deserved that ass whooping he got. But, like, with Dan, like, you completely relate to the problems he has, because some of the problems are legit problems. Like, that was just those were, like, even though they were so mundane, it's like, you kind of get it, because sometimes in your mind, you are thinking, there's gotta be some more to this. There has to be more meaning to this. They can't just be, it's just this small little thing and that's it. There's gotta be more. And Dan comes to find out there is more to it. It was just always funny when it comes to, like, and it would always be funny how it would kind of screw with Chris, because it's like, oh my god, he was actually right. God damn it. And he keeps doubting him. It's like, dude, he's right. Just accept whatever Dan is about to get pissed off about something, he's probably right about it. But yeah, Dan vs. honestly was a great show, and it sucks it got removed. I liked it. I really enjoyed it, honestly. It was just so funny. It was the most clever show one of the most clever shows of the 2010s, animated shows, that is. And it just sucks. It was one of those shows that wanted to be a bit edgy in its humor a bit. In a bit. Like I said, it was more like on the levels of, say, your 90s cartoons and having these sort of coarse characters who just are kind of like, I shouldn't be on your side, but I am. I don't know how I should feel about that. But it was one of those things I feel we kind of needed. It ended back in 2013, and honestly, I feel like we had a bit of a loss there. It was one of the best shows of the 2010s, but if I really had to come down with a list, I'd say it was probably one up there. It was one of the really good ones, or maybe in an honorable mentions, maybe depending on how long the list is. But I digress. It was a great show with great characters, great situational humor, that you just found yourself sitting back and enjoying and just honestly laughing your ass off, because they knew how to write some good comedy for it. It had really good comedy. That was its major highlights. And it just sucks, honestly. It was good, and I'm honestly mad that it didn't get the proper advertising like it should have. It got outshadowed by My Little Pony, and like, I like My Little Pony and all, but it just feels bad that this show didn't really make it up there. It kind of baffles me a bit. It baffles me a little, not too much. I get why people like My Little Pony. I get it, but it's just like, come on, we had something that was kind of new and original. You know, My Little Pony's based off a toy line you've already experienced. Dan vs. it's not something you've really experienced. You've experienced a jerk character, but usually it's a jerk character who's getting their comeuppance. Like, this is someone who straight up is right about the problems he's having. Like, that's just one thing that kind of sucks. But, what can you do? It was a great show. Maybe someday it'll return. Maybe. You know, somebody will see it and think that I want to bring this show back. And hopefully they get the original voice actors back if they can. With the original charm as well. But here's to hoping. If you like this video, leave a like, comment, and make sweet love to that subscribe button. Also, tease that little bell so you'll be notified whenever there's a new video out. Also, follow my Patreon, like I said at the beginning of the video, if you want to make a request of any type of topic you want me to talk about in my Simple Thoughts video. It's only $2 a month, and you can make a request so long as you keep pledging. But always remember, that's just the thought.